Okay, real talk. What if I told you that chess, one of the most intimidating games in the entire world, is actually way easier to learn than you think? Like, most people look at a chessboard and go, nope, too complicated, hard pass. But here's the thing. The basics of chess, you can learn them in about 10 minutes. And today, that is exactly what we're doing. We're breaking down chess for beginners, how every single chess piece moves, how to set up the chessboard the right way, what checkmate actually means, and I'm even going to show you a sneaky little chess strategy that can end the entire game in just 4 moves. Yeah, 4 moves. Stick around, this is going to be good. Most people think chess is only for super smart people or grandmasters or whatever. That is completely wrong. Chess is for everybody, and by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to play. Alright, let's start at the very beginning. What even is chess? Chess is a 2-player strategy game. That means it's just you versus one other person. No teams, no dice, no random luck involved. It is purely brains versus brains, which is either super exciting or slightly terrifying depending on how you look at it. Chess has been around for about 1,500 years. It started way back in ancient India, spread through Persia and the Middle East, and eventually the whole world picked it up. Today, there are over 600 million people who play chess regularly around the world. 600 million! That's almost twice the entire population of the United States. The whole goal of chess, and this is really important, is to trap your opponent's most important piece, called the king, so that it absolutely cannot escape. When that happens, it's called a checkmate, and that means the game is over and you win. Everything in chess comes back to that one goal. Protect your king, trap theirs. Now let's talk about the board. A chessboard is a square grid, 8 squares across and 8 squares down, which gives you 64 squares total. The squares alternate between 2 colors, usually light and dark. The colors just help you keep track of where everything is. Pretty simple so far, right? Here is something that trips up a lot of beginners when they're setting up. When you place the board down, you need to make sure there's a light-colored square in the bottom right corner on your side. People call this white on the right. If your board is set up wrong, everything else goes wrong too. White on the right. Burned into your brain now? Good. Each player starts with exactly 16 pieces. Here's what you've got. 8 pawns, the little guys in the front row. 2 rooks, they look like tiny castle towers. 2 knights, the horse-head ones. 2 bishops, the tall skinny ones. 1 queen, usually the tallest piece, and 1 king, almost as tall as the queen. One player uses white pieces, the other uses black. White always moves first, always. Here's how you line everything up on your back row from left to right. Rook, knight, bishop, queen, king, bishop, knight, rook. Then all 8 pawns line up right in front of that row. Your opponent mirrors the exact same setup on the other side. And one easy trick, the queen always goes on her own color. White queen on a white square, black queen on a black square. Hey, super quick before we get into how everything moves. If you're the kind of person who wants to actually understand games, like really get how they work, you are in exactly the right place. This channel breaks down board games, card games, party games, and more in the simplest way possible. So hit that subscribe button right now and tap that like button. It takes 2 seconds. Okay, back to chess. Let's go. Alright, how do the pieces move? Let's go one by one. First up, the pawn. The pawn is the little soldier. There are 8 of them. Pawns move forward and only forward. They never go backward. On their very first move, a pawn gets a choice. It can move either 1 square forward or 2 squares forward. After that, 1 square at a time. That's it. Now here's the part that always confuses people. How do pawns attack? They don't attack straight ahead. They attack diagonally. If an enemy piece is sitting 1 square diagonally in front of your pawn, you can capture it. But if the enemy piece is directly in front of your pawn is stuck there staring at it. Can't go around it, can't take it, just stuck. A little tragic, honestly. Oh, and there's one more pawn rule that is kind of incredible. If a pawn makes it all the way to the other side of the board, the very last row, it gets promoted. You can swap it out for any piece you want. Almost everyone picks a queen, so your little soldier pawn can actually become a queen. Kind of a beautiful rags to riches story, honestly. Next, the rook. It looks like a little castle tower because it basically is one. It moves in straight lines only, up, down, left or right, as many squares as it wants, as long as nothing is blocking the path. The rook is one of the most powerful pieces on the board. Keep yours alive. Okay, the knight is everyone's favorite weird piece. It moves in an L shape, 2 squares in one direction, then 1 square to the side, or 1 square in one direction, then 2 squares to the side, always in L. And here's what makes the knight special. It's the only piece that can jump over other pieces. Doesn't matter what's in the way, the knight just hops right over everything like, "Excuse me, coming through, goodbye." That jumping ability makes it incredibly useful. The bishop moves diagonally. That's it, in any diagonal direction, as many squares as it wants. You start with 2 bishops, one on a light square, one on a dark square. Here's something kind of interesting. A bishop can never change the color of square it's on. A bishop that starts on white, only ever on white, forever. It's a little limited, but bishops are really powerful when used well. Oh, the queen. The queen is the most powerful piece on the entire chessboard. It's not even close. She can move in any direction, up, down, left, right, any diagonal, as many squares as she wants. She is basically a rook and a bishop combined into one piece. Losing your queen early is, not great. It basically feels like showing up to a sword fight and dropping your sword in the first 10 seconds. And finally, the king. The most important piece. The whole game revolves around protecting him. But ironically, the king is also kind of the weakest piece in terms of movement. He can only move 1 square at a time in any direction. That's it, 1 square. He is extremely important, extremely fragile, and needs to be protected at all times. All right, you know how the pieces move. Now, how do you actually win? The goal is checkmate, but before you get there, there's usually a step called check. When your opponent's king is in check, it means it's being directly attacked by one of your pieces right now. And when that happens, your opponent must deal with it immediately on their very next move. They can't do anything else. When your king is in check, your opponent has exactly 3 options. 1. Move the king to a safe square. 2. Block the attack by putting one of their own pieces in the way. 3. Capture the piece that's doing the attacking. If they cannot do any of those 3 things anywhere on the board, that is checkmate. You win. Game over. Now there's one other outcome worth knowing about, a stalemate. A stalemate is basically a tie. Nobody wins. It happens when a player has no legal moves at all, but their king is not in check. It sounds weird, but it comes up more than you'd think. A lot of beginners accidentally cause a stalemate when they're winning. It is one of the most frustrating feelings in chess. Okay, I promised you a sneaky 4-move checkmate, and here it is. It's called the Scholar's Mate, and it's one of the most famous beginner chess traps ever. I'm going to walk you through it step by step right now. Get ready. Move 1. Move the pawn in front of your king forward 2 squares. This opens up lanes for your other pieces to come out fast. You're basically clearing the road for your stronger pieces to get into the game fast. Move 2. Bring your bishop out on a long diagonal, pointing toward the square right next to your opponent's king. That square is called F7, and it's one of the weakest spots on the board at the start of the game. Your bishop is now aiming like a sniper. Move 3. Bring your queen out and line her up on the same diagonal, right behind where your bishop is pointing. Now both your queen and your bishop are aimed at that same weak square. The threat is building. Move 4. Move your queen all the way to that F7 square. If your opponent hasn't defended it, that is checkmate. 4 moves, game over. Now, a more experienced player will see this coming and block it easily, but against a brand new beginner, it works a surprising amount of the time. Use it wisely, or just use it against your younger sibling at Thanksgiving. Totally valid. And that is how you play chess. You've got the board set up the right way, white on the right always. You know how every single piece moves. You understand check and checkmate. You know what a stalemate is, and you've even got a sneaky 4-move checkmate trick ready to go. You are officially prepared to sit down and play your very first real game of chess. Chess is one of those games that people have been playing for 1,500 years for a reason. Once you get it, it is genuinely addicting. And now you've got everything you need to start playing. Go find somebody and challenge them. Drop a comment down below and tell me which chess piece is your favorite and why. Are you a queen person? Do you love the sneaky knight? I actually read the comments, so let me know. And if this video helped you out, share it with a friend who's always wanted to learn chess. That means more than anything. Like this video, subscribe right now, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next game breakdown. I will see you in the next video. Now go checkmate somebody.